Hey guys, welcome back to the program. Welcome back to the D Time Love Show. You join me at the A to Z of Watches headquarters. I've got an interesting video. Finally, I've got a Q&A. Your questions, your answers. Now, let's go through some of the questions I'm going to discuss today. Loads to discuss. I've had loads of messages via Instagram, via Facebook, the Watch Addiction Club. And one of the questions that came in was from a guy called Mad One Watch Collector. Hey D, was great seeing you on Spencer's show. I love to see your pocket watch and some other pieces that got you into the hobby. Thank you, sir. Well, look, I had a thoroughly good time at Spencer's show at BQ Watches, and my gosh, their new showroom is absolutely immense. It's got to be one of, if not the biggest, watch dealership in the UK. It's absolutely humongous. And me and Spencer and the guys at BQ Watches are going to be partnering up and doing a lot of things from events, broadcasting. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. And I don't know if you heard the latest news from BQ Watches, but they had an elderly couple come into the actual showroom who were manipulated by a gang to purchase a watch on their behalf. So, guys, be careful that your elderly people can be very easily influenced by other people. Check out the video on Paul Thorpe's channel. He's actually done an interview with Spencer, Kaylee, and the team there, and it gives you an insight in terms of what happened there. But the police were involved. It's a crazy story. I'll leave a link in the description. Go and check out that video, guys. And it just shows you what a gentleman Spencer and what a genuine team they have. They noticed that these things didn't really add up in terms of what was going on with this couple. I think they were like 88 years old, 80 years old. They turned up to the showroom looking to buy a Rolex Day a President for about 45k, and a lot of things didn't add up in regards to why they were purchasing the timepiece. There's a lot of scammers out there, and you've got to protect people that can be very easily influenced, undue influence, even from family members to even outsiders that could penetrate your grandparents, your parents, because they're susceptible to believing whatever anyone tells them. And someone was pretending to believe like the police force, believe it or not. And that's how this elderly couple got involved in this scam. So yeah, guys, just keep an eye out, get in touch with your parents, your grandparents, just make sure they're okay, and just basically explain to them to be careful and not to believe anything that anyone knocks on their door or sends them a letter, maybe to, discuss it with you before they do anything, guys, because at the moment, the way the economy is, the way inflation is, all the scammers are coming out of the woodworks at the moment. So, guys, keep an eye out on that. But yeah, so we'll go through that question first, guys, and I will basically show you some video footage of my pocket watch, guys. Let's change perspective and have a look at the pocket watch that got me into the hobby. Now, this is a Tempo pocket watch, and guys, when I first got this, I inherited this pocket watch. When I popped the case open, I was hypnotized by the movement. Look at that guilloche finishing. It's not an expensive piece or anything like that, but this was my first experience of dealing with a mechanical timepiece. And I just found it so, so intriguing. The elegance of it, it's quite romantic, to be honest with you, that you could see a mechanical piece, the heartbeat beating away, something that's so old, but still able to keep good time. And just look at that dial, the gold finish, just beautiful, elegant, plenty of class. I'm sure you agree. Now, another question that I got, guys, was from Capital Watch Club. Loving the content. Would love you to talk us through your plans in 2023. Well, thank you, first of all, for enjoying the content. And I've had quite a few messages that you want to see more of me on the show and try and do more streams. Well, as I announced at BQ Watches, their podcast, I'm going to be working with WatchPro a lot more. From March onwards this year, we're going to be cooperating with a lot of the brands that you saw at the WatchPro Salon Live and the WatchPro Market. We're going to give those brands the opportunity to get the exposure they need and to allow the watch enthusiasts ourselves, the watch addicts, to engage with some of their favorite brands as well. So we're going to be touring the whole of the UK, and we're going to get close with the watch enthusiasts, the watch addict, just the general watch nerd, the watch geek, watch lovers. This is for you. We're giving back. We're going to try and make it personable, very engaging, and we're just going to have a bit of fun. There's going to be alcohol at the bar, so God knows what will happen afterwards. But it's going to be a bit of a party, celebrating, engaging with fellow like-minded watch enthusiasts like yourselves, guys. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. So that's what's planned. Regular content. You'll be seeing me, a lot more of me now on the channel, like it or not, to be fair. And I'm going to be basically working and incorporating A to Z of watches into the business of my channel. So it's going to be fun. Like I said, when I went down to see BQ Watches' new site, it's immense. I'm sure we're going to do a lot of events there as well, collaborating with the team there at BQ Watches. Gavin, Kaylee, Spencer, and the rest of the team, just fantastic guys. I just got a really good vibe from them, good synergy, good rapport, and they're genuine people. Spencer's a veteran of the game. He's been in this game for a very long time. There's nothing he doesn't know about the watch industry, watch events, and the watch industry as a whole. And I'm going to be working with WatchPro, A to Z of watches. So we're going to be seeing a lot more regular content on the channel. And another question from Slewer. Talk us through your watch addiction. Watch advice would you give your peers in handling our addiction? Wow. As you guys know, I have a number of groups that I set up for a number of brands that we work with here at the DeeTimeLove Show. So we've got anything from the Spinnaker Watch Addiction Group, AV8, Marathon, Christopher Ward groups that we set up, and most recently the Luxury Watch Addiction Group. Check it out in the description, powered by BQ Watches. And also, you better sign up to BQ events in London as well in the description, so you don't miss out on any of the events. And I'll be posting what's going to be going on the WatchPro Facebook group and on the channel to keep you guys filled in where we're going to be with what brands and when and where. So make sure you've got your diaries ready and book yourself in, because it's going to be exciting times this year. Loads of things going on. But as the group title says, the Watch Addiction Group has a number of, I think we've got about 15 different groups for different various brands, and a few generic brand groups as well. Now, for me, being a watch enthusiast is great escapism. And like I said, I'm a happily married man, but probably there's one good reason for that. Watches fulfill that need of excitement, the hunt of a watch. Keeps you faithful in your relationship, for sure. So watches for me is a great way to express yourself in regards to your style, your individualism. But I've really become more of a different genre of watch connoisseur, you could say. I love everything now. I like to have an aviation piece. I love to have a bit of everything. I like to mix it up, and we'll change perspective in a minute just to go through some of the watches that I've been enjoying recently, because a lot of you guys asked me questions on the Q&A about the micro brands and why micro brands seem to blown up in the recent years. And but going back to my watch addiction, now think of me as your coach. Think of this as a therapy session. Think of me as somebody that you're paying, say, £100 of your time, and you want to try and control your watch addiction. Think of me as your watch addiction therapist or your psychologist. So let's draw a wheel of life, and let's break it down into many different sectors. So let's talk about your physical environment. Let's give it a scale out of 1 to 10, where you're at in your physical environment. And that could be where you're living. It could be your personal home where you've got a mortgage, or where you're renting, or you could be living with your parents, for example. You may be struggling to get on the property ladder. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at the moment? So for me, I could say I'm a 5 or a 6. I love my property. I've got a holiday home as well. But I'm okay where I'm at, but obviously I'd like to get something better, like we all do in life. So I'd put a photograph at the top there for it to be a 10 out of 10. What would be the property that I would really want? And then you've got your employment. Where are you at in your job? Are you happy in your job? Because salary, let's be honest, guys, the money that you earn in life, this is what's going to basically feed your addiction. And I have one rule in life, and I say to people, in order to keep your watch addiction intact, in control, then make sure that you can pay the rent, the food on your table, the mortgage each month, is not to spend more than 10% of your annual basic salary on a watch. That way, you're playing it safe. Last thing you want to do is spend more money than what you have. And I wouldn't necessarily go and get a loan to purchase a watch unless you get that call from the Rolex AD. And it's very rarely that happens, but you want to put it on a credit card, get a loan, get it done, because a lot of the time you're not going to get that opportunity twice. Okay, and that's why you end up going to the grey market, grey dealers. You know, like BQ Watches and other grey dealers that we work with, the likes of Brothers in Time, great guys, I have to say. So you know. That's pretty much what I would say. Now, when it comes to feeding your watch addiction, you could have a section in your wheel of life on a scale of 1 to 10, where you are at in regards to your watch, collection. Are you happy on a scale of 1 to 10 with the timepieces that you have in your collection? Now, the problem being a watch addict, I would say most of the time you're happy when you get a piece. You could be thinking your collection is 10 out of 10. And suddenly, as time goes by, you get used to the piece, the element, the honeymoon period has now gone, and you're looking for that next piece, that next piece of excitement in your life, that hunt for that timepiece. So I could say that I'm a 7 and it quickly goes down to a 2. So what I've done, I've given 3-4 photographs on my wheel of life of the pieces that I would like to acquire. And if I get those pieces, that's it. My watch collection's done. That journey in horology is done, guys. So you can do that in all aspects of your life. And then you can put a plan together on how you will go about achieving those goals and objectives in regards to your watch collecting. But it goes with everything in life. So, if you're not happy with your physical environment, it means probably you need to get a new job. You need to think about doing something different that's going to allow you to earn more money to get where you need to be in life. It even comes down to your social life. What are you like with family, friends? What's that like at the moment on a scale of 1 to 10? Where would you need to be to make that a 10? You may be single, married, not happily married, whatever it may be. You need to make decisions. And the same thing goes in your watch collection. I know this is a little bit deep, but you guys asked me and I'm answering the questions at hand. You know what I mean? Now, one of the questions, and I get a lot of this, that I see myself buying lots of micro brands, D. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Well, look, it's a good thing if you've got a good foundation collection from the mainstream brands and you're not spending too much money. You're sticking to that rule that you're not spending more than 10% of your annual basic salary for the year. You're playing it safe, guys. Now, micro brands have exploded in the last 5 years. From World Time, WatchPro, Salon, Live, you've seen what's going on there. The impact of them has been great because they're able to source the resources they need now to produce a watch. So you can live the dream and become a watch brand manufacturer yourself. You become a watch brand. A lot of these brands may be one-man bands, two-man bands, or actually really progress quite well. Brands like Zelos. And what we'll do after this, we'll take a different perspective and look at some of the micro brands that I've brought in today at A to Z of Watches to showcase you guys today, and a few other pieces as well. But what am I wearing today? I'm wearing my Omega Seamaster Professional, one of my daily divers. What a cool watch indeed. But some of the micro brands have exploded because they're giving you some great value proposition. They're giving you a lot of good specification that you won't necessarily get at some of the mainstream brands. So what I've noticed, anything from around the 300 to £1,000 mark has exploded, guys. This is the price point where a lot of people coming into the hobby are happy to purchase that. Now, what I'm finding is even the Seiko Prospects line, they're starting to go creep up above the £1,000 mark, and what you get in at micro brand level now is really, really good value spec wise. A lot of the other mass produced brands can't really compete in regards to spec in regards to this. But what the micro brands can't compete with is that brand heritage, with that clout of a pedigree name as such. So, it's give and take. But what I wouldn't do is spend too much money on a micro brand when that's going to be your one watch. I've always advised to people micro brands are great as add-on watches in your collection, something that you can have a bit of fun with, but to make you guys aware that you're not necessarily going to be able to hold the value, and not to believe what everybody's saying online that this watch is going to hold its value like a Rolex piece, because it's not. I have to be honest with you and transparent. But what they can do is give you a lot of fun and engagement. Enjoy watches at specs, specifications that you won't necessarily be able to afford with some of the mainstream luxury brands. So they're great fun pieces to have in the collection, and watches you can be proud of. And not to say all watch brands have to start somewhere, but there's always good clues of the best micro brands tend to be available in, authorized dealers from the likes of Watches of Switzerland Group, Goldsmiths, Mappin Webb, the Signet Group, Ernest Jones, H. Samuels. Some of the big mainstream or smaller authorized dealers will pick up on these brands. Brands like Venezianica, they're in 92 bricks and mortar stores across Europe, and now they're being introduced in the UK, and there's good reason for that. If you've got a problem, the problem gets solved very quickly. I've got to manage your expectations. If you're dealing with a one man band, the likelihood of you getting a call to solve the problem straight away may be an issue of you getting a replacement. So just bear that in mind. Be patient. Understand that these guys are starting off. There's going to be teething problems, but you may be getting a very unique design, a great spec in the watch, and you get a piece that you're going to have plenty of fun. Not all micro brands are equal, guys, as I review on the channel. And I've always been critical and honest in regards to the timepieces that have come in and been paid for reviews. But I do not review any watches from brands that say to me they want it to be scripted, and I can't give an honest review. A lot of brands that come into the channel, to be honest with you, they're confident in what they're sending, and they have no qualms about me giving a critical, honest review. But guys, let's change perspective. Let's have a look at some of the watches that I've brought in today. Let's take a closer look. Let's change perspective. Now, let's take a closer look at some of the watches that I've brought into A to Z of watches today. Some of them are micro brands, independent watch brands, and a couple from the mainstream watch manufacturing brands from Switzerland as well. But as I discussed earlier, a watch brand called Venezianico have really achieved some real amazing things, guys. And these guys can be found in 92 bricks and mortar stores across Europe, the world, and now they're coming to the UK. Now, when I talk about, value for money, this is a watch that extremely good value for money, guys. This is the Nerade Tungsteno. It's got a tungsten bezel. It's got a Celita Swiss movement, SW200/1. Amazing bezel action with that grey slate rhodium dial. Absolutely fantastico, as the Italians would say. Yes, it's you can see where it's taking its inspiration from. It's very Rolex-like, you could say, in terms of its case, but Venezianico giving it its own vibe, its own design elements, with that nice brush finish case. Look at this bracelet. Not for everybody. It's very sort of like a dressy dive watch, 200 meters water resistant, but a very cool watch indeed. To look at the other model that we've got here that we've brought in today, we have the same model but the skeletonized version. What a cool timepiece, guys, I have to say. Very nice indeed. Extremely good value for money spec wise. And here we have a GMT version, the 39mm with that rhodium grey slate dial. This is my favorite color dial, guys, I have to say. Extremely good value for money, this GMT. Very nice indeed. Another watch that I reviewed most recently on the channel, check it out guys, is the Marathon G-SAR Government Search and Rescue. What a fantastic piece this is. Let's just polish this up for you guys. Bear with me. Very cool watch. I love this watch, the robustness. Another independent watch brand that really give you substance as well. Unlike some other micro brands, this is actually assigned to the military, the US military and Canadian forces as well. So very cool with the trim. Check out the video, and I really enjoyed making the review on this watch at the RAF Museum. Now, a watch that I'm going to be reviewing, guys, is this new Seagull watch, guys, that's coming to the channel. This will be next on the channel. I'll be reviewing this very soon. Very cool watch from China, from Seagull themselves. Very respectable watch brand from China themselves. Another great value proposition in regards to what you get in regards to value, guys, and keep a lookout on the channel. What else have we got I brought in today? I brought in the Simier retrograde automatic, another rhodium dial, grey slate, absolutely beautiful. This watch, one of my favorite watches that I reviewed. And here we have a guy, well, I call it a guy, see, I refer to them as people, my watches. A watch from Zelos, the swordfish. A very cool watch indeed, absolutely made to perfection for the price. That very fluid, articulating bracelet, very nice on the wrist, guys. But these are the guys that really started off the micro brand revolution, you could say. Zelos opened the door for the other brands to do what they're doing, guys. Check out Zelos watches, fantastic micro brand. You know, but they've really grown drastically since when they first started all those years ago. They've got watches that start from £300 and watches that go right up to £11,000 sterling. Zelos. But Zelos is a fantastic dive watch brand. They've got a nice variety of watches and they've got their own element of design. This is a micro brand. If you don't know them already, check them out, guys. Very cool watch brand indeed. Next, we have Yema watches, a brand from France, guys. Bear with me. Let me just move the date on this for you. Bear with me. There you go. Sorry, guys. I hate it when the date with function is about to, it's not correct. But there you go, guys. This is the Yema Rallygraph, guys. A very cool Panda dial from Yema, a French brand. Bit of a rebirth Phoenix brand, but they've got some very cool vintage pieces. This is the Yema Rallygraph based on Mario Andretti's chronograph that he used when he was racing. But how different it could have been if he was wearing a Rolex Daytona. It would have been called the Mario Andretti Rolex Daytona. But a very famous watch in terms of design. So Phoenix, this is a Mecha Quartz, very good value for money. If you're on the market for this type of look and design, original design element, original to Yema watches themselves, they produce watches like this. If you look at the early vintage models from the early 70s, you'll see that it's almost identical. So a nice reissue of those watches. Check out Yema. I really highly recommend them. Very cool watches indeed. And then we have Tissot. No introduction needed. A well-known watch brand with a lot of history and pedigree, guys. But what Tissot produce now with this PRX Powermatic is a watch that you've got to consider now because they're extremely good value for money. The movement is based off a 2824, 80 hours power reserve. Wow. Just wow. Look at that dial, guys. Very good value for money, guys. Just wanted to showcase to you guys, you know, that you still can get very good value for money watches from the mainstream brands like Tissot. If you want that pedigree and history, look no further than this Tissot PRX Powermatic 80 hours power reserve. And the last one is the AK Cobra. And just wow. What can I say? When I got this, I was shocked. We're an affiliate. We represent the brand now. It's a fantastic piece with a 3-hour wandering arms, that retrograde minute track at the bottom. Heavily modified 9 Series Miyota movement. Extremely well made. with the carbon fiber aluminium, and it's just lost for words with this watch. Very, very different indeed, I have to say. But you know, a watch equivalent of this, and what it's done to bring it to you, it's quite expensive, you know, for a micro brand at $2,000. But to buy the equivalent of something like this, you're looking at over £100,000 sterling, guys. Even more, maybe even double that, to be fair. So what you don't get in regards to maybe brand recognition with this watch, you get with the mechanics of it, the design aspect. But they're doing very well. You'll probably find that these will hold their own in regards to value. Not all micro brands are made equal, like I said, but these guys are very, very serious about what they're doing. What a fantastic piece. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's different video. Leave your comments below on your watch addiction, how you deal with your watch addiction. Leave your comments below. And guys, I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and join the Luxury Watch Addiction Group and BQ Events London. And guys, we'll see you soon with latest updates of where we're going to be, when and where, and the times and the dates. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.